The next thing we're going to talk about is the player, pet, target, and focus tabs here. They all control and customize your unit frames for your player frame, pet, your target, and focus. So let's take a look at that. If you notice, if you click the player tab, if it's not already shown, the player alignment settings and stuff here has changed over to the left. Okay, so keep that in mind because sometimes you're going to have to move over there and change some stuff if you don't know where it's at. It might get a little confusing. So most of these settings are pretty much the same for all four of these tabs here. Basically, if you want to display the portrait or not. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and move my player portrait up here so you can see it better. If you take it out, it will not show the portrait. Okay. Now you could make it show the 3D or a static portrait. Okay, I always have it on 3D because I like stuff to move in my little frame here. You can extend the portrait frame, which allows to extend to the bottom of the stats frame when the extra bars are shown. So it's okay. I always not extend it. You really don't need all that much information. It also shows a hit indicator when people getting hit or something. It'll do a little flash on the unit frame here. Now you could also say display the casting bar or not. And then over is whatever the casting, do you want to show that bar, and then the little subsettings here. Do you want to display the player level, class icon, player's XP bar, player reputation? Do you want to show the PvP flag, and other little things here? So let's just bypass it. This is the stuff that you could just mess with and figure out on your own. It's pretty self-explanatory. Over here, if you align at the top and move it around, it's basically where you're aligning the player alignment to the target and target frames and stuff like that, which you don't see right now, but let's go ahead and click it. Okay, now you notice one thing is if you line the top, you'll see all these bars stacked on top of each other. It's basically pet bar, target, focus bar, and then once you have it stacked, this just makes it so you could easily align your unit meters, your pertinent unit meters, your focus target, and yourself. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and make it so that it'll show correctly, so I can show you what's going on here. Now, in the default UI for Blizzard, it basically shows your unit frame on the top left there, and then when you target someone, it'll show it right next to each other. So let's go ahead and replicate that. Okay. And there it is. Here's my player frame, which is me, what I'm targeting, and what my target is targeting. Okay. Now, you could scale it. You could scale the target frame and then the focus frame. Okay. Now, there's other options here. It's called player buffs. Okay. Basically, do you what kind of buffs do you, if you want to show that's underneath the unit frame here? So let me go ahead and line it to the top again. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and buff myself here with wisdom. Okay, there we go. And then you'll see the little icon show up for blessing wisdom because I just have my blessings there. Now if I turn it off, it won't show any buffs or debuffs. If I turn it on and say just show players debuff, I could just show players debuff. You can show it above or below. This is good for healers or decursors, to see if they have anything that you need a debuff or a cleanse. Sorry. Now, if you go to pet, target, and focus, pretty much everything else here on the settings here is pretty much self-explanatory, pretty much the same. You got the general settings for that unit frame there, and then the buff settings here to the right. You can make them smaller or bigger, whatever. Now, for the pet, target, and focus bars, you also have something called a target options for them. Basically, you could turn it on and say, okay, if my target of the target is targeting something, show me that, right? For example, here for your pet. Okay, let's move the pet bar up here so you can see it better. If I had a pet up and he was targeting someone, I wouldn't see what he's targeting. But if I turn this on, and my pet's targeting someone, it will show another frame, which you can move around, next to your pet frame to show and display what he's targeting. And then you could adjust those settings for that unit meter, or sorry, unit frame. Okay, so like I said, very powerful, very customizable to how you want stuff set. Now, if you go to target, pretty much the same type of options. Buffs over here, your target options over here, and then your general options for the unit frames here. Okay, and again, you could adjust the scale to the left here on this little column here. So let's go ahead and let's do the target frame. Yeah, I moved around when you resize it, makes it that big, you know. Okay, so again, focus. All right, does the same thing. You can show the focus target, what he's targeting. If you turn that on, like I turn it on right here, I'll go and move this frame over here. This frame here is what my focus is currently targeted on. Okay, so like I said, you could put up a lot of unit frames just to see what the hell is going on with everything that's going on currently in the raid and stuff. The whole point is to set it up so you don't get information overload. Okay, I had everything on at first when I first started playing with this mod, and I just had so much frames, unit frames, up on my screen, I couldn't see jack shit. So I had to, really organize it and adjust things around and rescale and resize. So like I said, again, powerful mod allows you to just adjust so much customizable shit for unit frames with raids or just with your regular frames. Now let's go ahead and move over to the party tab. But first of all, if you notice, all my unit frames here are messed up because of what I was showing you earlier. So let's go ahead and load up my profile again so that all my frames will go in the right place. And I'll go to focus and turn off target because I don't use that frame. Okay, and there we go. We're refreshed again. So again, if you're messing with UI, if you're doing some big changes, the best thing to do is always save your profiles and save different versions of it. That way you can go back and just in case you mess up and not have to start all over. So let's go to the party tab here. Now the party tab basically is the settings for your party members here. Now you can't see it because I currently have a raid going. So let's go ahead and I gotta kick someone out so I can show the party. Let's go ahead and kick this person out. Remove that. Here we go. And then let's go ahead and move them all into one group so they'll show them as party. Okay, there we go. Now see here, here's my party. Okay, this is where I put my party tab here. So when you're in a party in a 5-man run or something like that, all the party is shown here. Now you have your basic settings for the party. You go through that and mess with it. So you can set the way the buffs are displayed for the party. Okay, and then over here you can align it the way you need to for the party. Let's go ahead and click party again. It was on raid. There you go. You should adjust the spacing up and down, where it's anchored to. Do you want to flip it around, and the frame scale and how you want to scale it. Now, if the party member has a pet, the pet frame shows right around here. Okay, so that's where you would adjust it. Yeah, stop moving around here. So you can adjust the scale of that. Okay, so that's basically it for the party frame. Okay, you move it anywhere you like on the screen, like over there or over there, even right here if you wanted to, wherever it's more comfortable for you. Again, look and feel and all the adjustments and what they should show or not show is all in here that you can adjust.